Hello and welcome to our busy webinar for July 1st. Happy July 2015, folks. We're talking about blogging for business today. I am Dave Meyer, president of BizzyWeb. Delighted to have you here. As we do each week, we'll go through a few housekeeping items to let everybody join up on time and get going. And we do have a Q&A function and feature that I'll demo in just a moment. So here's a brief look at the agenda. We're going to talk a little bit about BizzyWeb. That's like a minute-and-a-half thing, and then we're going to go into blogging for business. So we'll talk about how to blog in WordPress. We're going to give you some insight and inline demos for what you can do, and I'm also going to share with you a place that you can review all of the hardcore details of how to post, how to add images, how to do all of those technical things via some of our tutorials, and I'll show you where to go for that. Then we're going to talk about how to write for your audience, how to be social, how to schedule, and we're going to throw in a little bit of detail on SEO. Each week, we allow folks to join and post questions live, and I'm going to share with you right now how you can do that. First, go over to the post on today's event, and you'll note that inside of that post, you can see two things. First, you're probably watching from inside of this Blogging for Business, a Busy Webinar window. If you have a Google Plus account, you can ask questions during the event by clicking on the Google Plus link under View It in our Google Plus page on number 1. And so if right here you click on this Google Plus link, and I'm going to do that right now, it's going to open up a new tab, and you'll be able to see that there's a Q&A function right here. So you'll click on this play button, and then from that play button, it's going to open up a new window. And I'm just going to pause for a moment and pause the live hangout so that you don't have to hear me speaking twice. And there I am. And then you'll note over on the lower right corner, there's a green button that says Ask a New Question. If you have questions about any of the content that we're going to talk through today, if you click that green Ask a New Question button, and I'm going to do that right here, and then you type something like ask a question here, hit enter, and I will see that question as I click back and forth in the event today, and we'll be able to answer those questions in line. So that's how to handle it if you have questions. Again, from the event, just click on the Google Plus link, and that'll eventually take you into a window like this. And then if you click the green Ask a New Question button, you can ask us questions during the event at any time. Again, as a reminder, here's what BizzyWeb is. We're an online marketing company focusing on web design and marketing. And inside of the marketing side, we do search engine optimization, or the art of getting you ranked better on the web. We do content marketing, pay-per-click advertising, web hosting, and a suite of other things, including email marketing, every week for our clients. So if you have questions or needs on that, we would love to talk to you about any of those. We also create social media accounts and get our clients up and running and generating buzz without getting stung, no matter what their businesses are. So let's get into the business for the day and talk about blogging for business. First, let's talk a little bit about what blogging can really do for you. Blogging is one of those unsung heroes of the online marketing world. For BizzyWeb and for our clients, we really use the blogging feature inside of WordPress as the lever for everything else that we do. When you publish to a BizzyWeb-powered WordPress website, that act of publishing posts out all of your content to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and more every time you publish. And it also auto-populates your email marketing newsletters so that you can reach out and push content to your very favorite fans, clients, and prospects. So the more you do and the more consistent you are with this one tool, the less hard you're going to have to work on everything else. But then also you'll have that one consistent overarching brand that's going to help you reach out and be consistent and strong and rank well on search engines for everything else. So blogging is really the core of all of that. What do you get from blogging? Well, of course, you can grow credibility by branding you and your company and your company's name. You can strengthen that brand by providing out helpful content that's shared to other folks and certainly shared across all of your social networks. If you share a little bit of what you know, you can become an expert in your field. And remember that to become an expert, all you need to do is know more than the people that you're writing to. So don't get freaked out by the expert moniker. Really, all you're doing is proving what you know to the clients that need it most. So if you know your customer, and we'll talk a little bit more about knowing your customer in just a little bit, you'll be able to really write to them and for them to help answer their most common concerns and questions. Of course, all of this is going to increase search engine rankings and traffic and revenue. The entire point of blogging and any online marketing is to reach out as much as possible with clear, consistent content that's as helpful as possible to engage, inform, capture, and convert your customers or your visitors into clients. So let's get into a little bit of the technical details now, and we're going to talk about how to blog in WordPress. First, there are a number of different things that you can do inside of WordPress, and I'm going to give you a demo in just a little bit here. But there are different types of posts that you can create, and whether they're pages, which don't tend to have an RSS feed attached to them. RSS stands for really simple syndication, and it's the tool that really is the backbone of sharing on the web. RSS feeds will automatically populate to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, when set up correctly. And they also proactively send out links to Google and other search engines to tell them that your content has been updated. So if you regularly update posts and create new blog posts in your WordPress-powered website or in your website that has RSS enabled, that will help you to increase your search engine rankings. Now, there are different types of posts, including events. Sometimes websites use products as different types of posts. There's calendar events. There are blog posts, Q&As, and other regularly updated content. You can have guest posts. You can have Oreo posts, or the act of quoting some other tool or some other article and linking back to that article while adding your thoughts. So you give a brief introduction, grab a little snippet of an article from somewhere else on the web and link to that article, and then provide your additional analysis. That's an Oreo post. But the goal and the detail in all of that marketing is to make your headline clickable or interesting, and then make your content easy to read. As you grab that content, you want to make it very postable, very ethical and legal. So don't overshare or steal or plagiarize other people's content. Like I mentioned, you can borrow content or grab a very small snippet of information from somewhere else. In general, though, you need to attribute that to its original owner and link back to that article so that they understand that you've done that. So let's talk about just a little bit of the mechanics of WordPress as we move forward. So once you log into the back end of your WordPress website, you'll see posts inside of your articles. And so in BizzyWeb's case, we have our posts, and then we have some different categories and some different tags. The headline of the article is up here in the title section. The content is included in here. There's a way to add media. And with WordPress, with new versions of WordPress, all you need to do is drag something from your desktop onto your edit screen, and it automatically loads that image up into the window. Titles, details, everything else that you need is very simple and should be driven through the headlines. If you can create an email, if you can work in Microsoft Word, you can very easily create your own content in WordPress. As you're creating posts and blogs, you also need to understand the details of what blog posting is. So you're going to want to give this content categories, and you'll also want to attach tags, again, to help you find that right content as you bridge forward. So when you look at this content, as people are clicking around, you know, we added cyberbullying and online safety to this particular article. And so we added categories for the different links and the different places that we were connecting out. And here's all of the other options for things that we already write about. We also have the opportunity to add featured images and sidebars if you want to have separate, but that's built into our theme. And then you'll note that there's a lot of bullets. And when you click on bullets, you'll note that this bulleted list is highlighted. If I unclick that, that goes away from the bullets. If I unclick the bold button, that stops it from being bold. If I wanted to add a link, I just click Insert Edit Link, And that's about all that there is to publishing and creating posts. You can also add excerpts. Excerpts are usually used in WordPress as the little snippet of information that goes right underneath your article. And so in this case, I would want to add an excerpt of what that first paragraph is. And so, for example, I'm just going to copy that first paragraph in this article, and I can paste it down inside of this article space, inside of the excerpt space. And then the SEO settings in every WordPress website that's properly configured should let you offer a slightly different headline and description than what you use in your article. So the key thing is that your headline should probably be under 70 characters, and your post and page meta description should probably be around 150. So you can see that this one is actually a little bit long. Here's the deal. So if I needed to trim this down a little bit, I could just get rid of that one. And now I'm down to 154, which is probably good. What happens inside of this, if you have an article headline that's longer than 70 or an article description that's longer than really 155, 160, then Google will simply cut it off and you'll just see ... at the end. Doesn't help you, doesn't hurt you, but certainly when you're browsing articles on Google, you want to make it as easy and as clear to what people are getting, and that's the reason you need to shorten those as much as possible. So there are other things that you can include in here. There's other details and scripts and all kinds of other stuff. We've got posts that auto-publish to social networks, and that's what this looks like on the back end. And so if I want something to show up on Facebook, I would leave this clicked. If I want it to be on Google Plus or LinkedIn or my LinkedIn company page, I leave all of those clicked. If I don't want something to go out on a specific network, then I could simply uncheck that and then it would not post. So if I also wanted to repost something, if I made a change or if I updated an event, for example, I could simply go into this article and repost to Facebook. As soon as you're done, you can click update or post in this version. And so what'll happen there is it'll just say successfully or post updated. So what this looks like then when I view that post is I'm going to go into view post, and you'll see quite simply what that post looks like on BizzyWeb's blogging calendar. So what you should know about cyberbullying, how to recognize cyberbullying can involve, and some bullet points in here, how to protect yourself and your family, what to do if you're a target or a witness, and so on and so forth. So it talks about what to do, how to do it, and it's very clear and readable and includes a few pieces of information and even an image to make it simple and clear. And you'll note that right here, we have that tweet that went out, cyberbullying, protect yourself, your family, and your business, with a link back to the article. And then in Facebook as well, new post, cyberbullying, protect yourself, your family, and your business, was published in here. It grabbed the image, it grabbed the text, and it made a link to that article. That was all automatically done by the WordPress website. Now, if you want more about the technical details of how all of this stuff works, here's how to see much more. Go over to support in BizzyWeb. And so I've highlighted the support link up in the navigation tab. And then you'll note the second one down is tutorial videos. If I click on the tutorial videos link, there's all kinds of wonderful stuff, including adding new posts and pages, how to add an image from your computer to your article, how to add an image from the media library into a post, how to add a paragraph to a page or a post. We talk in depth on working with post categories, how to reset your password, deleting or editing images, editing posts and pages, using excerpts, setting featured images, hyperlinks, adding lists, and menus on the site. Most of those actually talk about the act of blogging. So if you go through these, most of these are under 90 seconds in length. So I would encourage you again to go to buzzyweb.com/support/tutorial-videos, or simply click on the support link in our navigation bar at buzzyweb.com and go down to tutorial videos for more details. Again, as a reminder, if you would like to ask questions during this event, simply click on the Google Plus link in the article, in the page that you're viewing from. And we have a lot of viewers today, so thank you for everyone for joining us here. But click on this Google Plus link. That's going to open up this page, and you'll be able to ask questions by clicking the green Ask a New Question button. That's all I'm talking about as far as mechanics, and I'm going to get into details now for how to blog and what to blog. And so let's move back over to the presentation and get into customers. When you're thinking about who you need to talk about with your customers, you really want to post through what your customer is most interested in. So think about your best clients. Think about who you do most for them. And actually, I have this in here. So know your best clients' personas. So think about who your best client is, and then create a fictionalized version of that person that aggregates a few of your different clients and what you love about them. And talk about some demographics. You know, is it Mary Smith, and does Mary Smith have 2 kids, and she's in her mid-30s? She went to a Midwestern college, and she has a corporate marketing job with a company that has 200 people and does $25 million in annual revenue. They focus on widgets, and what they really need is online marketing help. You know, that's an example from BizzyWeb's ideal personas. But once you know who your person are, who your people are that you're trying to reach, then write for them. Write what Mary would want to know about. Write some tips, write some questions that you've heard people like Mary ask before, and keep their perspective and know how they would search to find you and what articles they would tend to click on. So inside of your search engine optimization, in your SEO links that I demoed just a little bit ago, that's the keywords and the phrases that you want to highlight. So if they would be searching for, in BizzyWeb's case, Minneapolis web design or Minneapolis online marketing, that's what you want to write in your keywords and in the content of your pages. So convey the story and show the process and the outcomes, and don't forget a call to action during every post. As you're writing for your audience, you know, think about addressing a common problem, the frequently asked questions that people review or that people keep talking to you about. If you already have an FAQ on your website, you probably have at least as many bullets as you have post ideas for your blog. So if you have 14 different things in your frequently asked questions, that's 14 different articles that you could write, one article about each of those going into more depth. Speak about the benefits of your solution, make lists, and be sure that the title is really about your customer, your content, and what's in it for them. The one thing that you might want to consider, and this is the same thing for email headlines as it is for blog post article headlines, there's a 2-2-2 rule to content. Think about, people need to be able to get the point of your article in the first 2 seconds of reading your article. There also needs to be some action in the first 2 words that they read, and you need to tell them why they need to care today. So our 2-2-2 rule is 2 seconds, 2 words, and today, as far as you're looking at what people can do, why they want to click on your link, and what you should write about for your audience, for your article headline to draw them in. As far as the actual content of the post, you know, think about the general structure of any given post. And first start with a problem or solution in the introduction. Make sure that you get the details and the keywords of that article or of what you need to write about right into the top of that article. And then kind of describe what you're going to cover inside of the introduction. For the body, you're going to describe the problem and offer the solution inside of what you're talking about. And then in closing, you're going to review and offer a relevant call to action or a next step. You know, one killer tip for people that are writing for the web is to have usually at least 3 calls to action on every page. So in your introduction, you can include a quick call to action if they already know that they need to speak with you about this. You know, call us today and make that a clickable link, or download our white paper, or register for our newsletter, or stop by. And then do that again in the middle where it makes sense after you've provided that solution. And then again, be sure to remind them, and right at the very end, say, if you'd like to know more, click here, or do this, or offer that. That gives people a very clear sense of direction for what they should do. Don't make people guess for what you expect them to do inside of your article. So if you give them more detail and tell them what to do with a clear call to action, your conversion rates will go up dramatically. You also need to make your posts readable. So as you create posts, you don't want to write in long paragraph form. Especially some of us that were raised in academia, you're supposed to write and get the maximum amount of words. A good blog post should be 300 words or so, and it should include lists, bullet points, numbers, bold content, images, pictures, infographics as necessary. This is an example from BizzyWeb's website. So in writing great content, make your headline count. Don't set and forget your landing pages, test them. So include all of that content in detail. And you can see this is an example of a breakout section or a heading section inside of your article. So right inside of here, you can see this, and that on the average, 5 times as many people read the headline as read the body copy. When you have written your headline, you spend 80 cents out of your dollar in what you do in your marketing. So make sure that you think about that and relay that content and that information. When you're reusing content, again, you need to attribute your content and do some level of what I call Oreo posts. So this is an example of a numbered post where we link to several different seven different topics inside of an article. And what we did is we included what's called a block quote. And inside of the tool, inside of WordPress, there's a button that looks like a quotation mark. I can actually switch over to that and we can go back to the post. Let me just dig down into here. So when I'm going into that edited post, there's a button right here that looks like quotation marks. That's block quote. So you can see that that's highlighted in my button. So for block quote, that's what makes content pop out like this. And so if you hit that block quote button, it'll do a nice little styled post that gives it, perhaps italics, makes it lock out. But then you'll also note that we link back to the Google tool, and we linked back to Yossi Fisher and EOS Inc. in that content. So cite your sources, make direct quotes, and provide links back to that original content for maximum benefit. Another thing that you need to do is be consistent and professional. So make sure that you're setting up a blog calendar. This is BizzyWeb's calendar of events, but we have a similar calendar just for content as we're driving it out. And you might want to think about different days covering different things. Now, this is assuming you're getting deeply into your content. At least once a week, you should be updating your blog and your social media by proxy. But make sure that, especially as soon as you get a little bit more in-depth or detailed and you start doing things multiple times a week because you're seeing definite results in your online marketing, that you don't do the same thing every day, that you instead switch it up and test and measure what works best for your clients and your people. So create a blog idea list, post every week, or if that seems to be more than you can handle, then consider hiring a professional blogger that can help you create a blog strategy and help you deliver that. BizzyWeb offers that through our Buzz Builders programs. We have content writing and online marketing tools that can help you achieve your goals. Calls to action, again, are something that's important and that you need to include in every post. You just need to simply tell people what to do and why they need to do it. So when you get there, make it very clear. I like when you have text and imagery. So this is an example from one of BizzyWeb's clients. Contact us today, and 24-hour emergency service. That's built to be mobile responsive, and I'll talk to you about mobile responsivity in just a minute. But it gets right to the point of what we know we want people to do. Your call to action should be apparent, clear, and shared on every page, and sometimes multiple times on a page, as I mentioned before. 3 times a page at the top, middle, and end is fine. You need to think about what your visitors need and give them an easy link to take that next step. If it's unclear as to what you want people to do, it's much less likely that they're going to do what you want them to. And then finally, search engine optimization. As you think about this stuff, structure your site to get found on Google. I have entire BizzyWebinars on this, so scroll back. I believe our last one on search engine optimization was about a month ago, so just go to BizzyWeb.com/events to hear more. But your goal is to focus and concentrate on terms for your target audience, for those perfect clients of yours, and you know what they would be likely to be searching for, when they would look, and what converts most. So include that. You want to include the keywords and the URL, but don't overdo it. if you include, for example, if I was trying to write an article on web design and I said, BizzyWeb is a web designer based in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and our web design efforts are top notch because we believe in web design, and web design is great for you and web design is great for us. That's stuffing keywords. If you have too many keywords on a given page, that will actually downgrade your ranking and maybe even get you banned for that search term because you're trying to fool Google or other search engines into displaying your content. The key is to really make your content as useful as possible to the end user. And you have to think optimization speak because you want to be clear, you want to be concise, you don't want to overdo the keywords, but you want to make them very prominent on your site and in your links so that people will click on your site because that content is showing up when people are searching for those keywords. There's a keyword planning tool with Google, and the best thing to do is just to Google keyword planning tool in order to have that show up, but it'll actually help you figure out what keywords are going to work best for you. You just need to enter in on the Google keyword planning tool your intended keyword or what you think might work, your website, wherein Google is going to actually look at your website, and then the different or the audience or market that you are in. So if you're in real estate or if you're in construction or if you're in commercial properties, you would just enter in that theme and then Google will tell you some suggested keywords, usually for advertising, but it also works very well for content. So consider all of those things when you're trying to optimize your website for maximum results on search engines. I'm going to switch back over for questions and answers just quick. Something happened, screen and audio is gone. Says your end or mine? Teresa, that is probably your end because everything seems to be working for me. Let me know if you are still having problems, but hopefully that'll pop back up. And the easiest way to get around that, if you can hear me now, is to rewind a second and see if it's still going. And if you're still frozen, it might just be your internet connection, but that should pop right back up again. So hopefully that's working well. Finally, we wanted to also talk just a little bit about mobile responsive design and social integration, because as you build your website, when you're blogging well, when it looks good, you need to make sure, of course, that it's going to get found and that you broadcast your messages across as many places as possible. So as of April 21st, Google sent a very clear signal to all bloggers, all web content providers, that if you don't have mobile-friendly results or mobile-friendly web pages, they're simply not going to link to you in mobile searches. So if someone's searching for you on their phone, if your website isn't optimized for mobile devices, your website won't show up in that search, even if it would if they were typing and trying to search on a computer. That's might not seem like a big deal to you, but up to 80% of people respond, or people that responded say that they primarily search on their mobile devices now. So as of April 21st, we've seen clients or prospects that haven't had mobile-friendly designs, and basically you can tell by trying to squeeze your website to the skinniest possible screen size if you're on your PC, or simply looking at it on a phone. And if you have to pinch and zoom on your phone, or if your content gets cut off when you squeeze it in your computer's web browser, in your PC's web browser, then your website is not mobile responsive. Go to google.com/webmasterstools mobile friendly to see if you're in danger of losing that traffic, and we can help you if your website is not mobile responsive. So make sure that you do that. One other fine point on this: a lot of clients feel like they're covered because they have a plugin that offers up a different version of their website, and that's called mobile adaptive. And you still do get downgraded for having a mobile adaptive website versus a mobile responsive website. Your website shouldn't display a different version of the site when people go there on a mobile device. And if you have to click to go to a desktop version on your website, that's a good indicator that you have a mobile adaptive site. And you still get downgraded for that because it adds a different layer of complexity and it's just duplicate content. And so it's just best to have a mobile responsive website versus adaptive. Finally, let's talk about social integration. And your website can post all of your blog content to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and more. If you do that, you're publishing across and broadcasting to as many networks as possible. Now, you do want to think about the different needs of each network. Twitter, of course, needs to be shorter and more concise, and you can theme that or construct it inside of the settings of the tools so that it's providing the right type of content. You can also add different content based on the categories of posts that you do. So perhaps if you have a featured article, it would go out on all the networks. If you have a video article, it would just go out on YouTube or Pinterest. If you have a E is for Everybody article, it might always go out on Facebook. But you can do all of that automatically depending on the settings of your tools. In general, Facebook should be general posts and deals. B2B is best for LinkedIn or thought leadership. Google Plus should focus on content that's intended to drive traffic to your website via search engine optimization. And Twitter, again, is just short headlines and tips. So I'm going to leave one more spot for questions. Chris says that you're frozen as well and continues to refreeze after each refresh. Update or just reschedule. Same here, frozen. Let me check back. I am certainly seeing all of my content live, so I'm not sure what's happening. And I see that everybody's gone on the article, so I'm not sure what's happening, and we'll make sure to take care of that for you and send you a refresh of the event. If it continues to freeze, let me know, but we're going to send out a link to the full article and just rewind back and you should see everything if it was frozen on your end. Let's go through and wrap up, because in summary, wanted to remind everyone, of course, that we do web design, and so we can build your website and help you with a solid strategy to help you grow your business using online marketing. We do online marketing with our Buzz Builders programming, and we do in particular email marketing, search engine optimization, content writing, and blogging, and also social media marketing inside of all of that. Be sure to join us every Wednesday. Next week, we're going to talk about social media time savers with Trygve Olsen. And then the week after that, we're talking SEO basics again. And then we're going into marketing to millennials at the end of the month. So I hope you can join us there. If you'd like to join us in person, there's all kinds of other stuff that's coming up, whether it's a Score Minneapolis presentation with campaigns that drive action in online surveys, or how to how to keep and retain your customers with Connect to Buy. So if you'd like more details and information about how your website is doing in online marketing, go to BizzyWeb.com/buzz. There's a really cool free tool on the site, and I actually want to go to that for a second. If you go to BizzyWeb.com/buzz, and I'm just going to pop that up right now, BUZZ, what you'll see here is a very easy and simple link where you can click on this Buzz Report tool. So you enter in your website, a keyword that you'd like to be found for. You can add a competitor's URL right here, and then you enter in your name and your email and you click scan. It'll take about 45 seconds, but then you're going to get a 17-page report on how you're doing for your keywords, what else you might want to consider in your online marketing, and how you're doing versus your competitor, which I think is really, really fun and really cool. This is a free tool that's available to all of our Buzz Builders or BizzyWebinar attendees. If you'd like more details and get a full online marketing report, you can fill out the following down here and get us more detail, and then we'll consult directly with you to see what level you'd like us to deliver that, and that's a paid program. $195 is a full in-depth review, including a marketing analysis and report, but we certainly work with you before that. If you'd like the free version, it's right on the top here. So give me a call if you'd like more detail on that. But in general, we can talk all the way up here, and let's go all the way back to the home here and go back. Thank you very much for joining us for our Bizzy webinar today. We talked about blogging for business. If you'd like more details or information, please get a hold of us at sales@BizzyWeb.com or give us a call on the number at the bottom of the screen here, 612-4BizzyO. That's 612-424-9990. Thank you all so much for joining us. And remember, at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. Have a great day.